Welcome to Keys to Success. On this show, we will motivate, educate, and entertain you. Now here's your host, Mr. Kirk Clarke. Good evening and welcome to yet another program of Keys to Success. I am Kirk, and of course tonight we've got an exciting show. But just before we get into the show, I've got a short clip just to talk a little bit about how do you operate at work, loyalty in the office. Here's this clip.
I want to take a different spin on loyalty than I think most people think of, when perhaps the common thought around loyalty is, I've got your back, I'll defend you to the death, I'll show up on time, I'm here all the way through. I think those are important and they have their place. All of them are great virtues to have and characteristics. But as I think of Fishbowl, and I think of the people in my life that are loyal, it's not something we talk about. It's interesting when you think of the characteristics or attributes or any of the non-negotiables. I think you don't talk about loyalty very often. It's something that you just do. And when I think of the people here at Fishbowl, of 100 people, I've never thought once that they're loyal or disloyal. They just show up, do their job, they're honest, they work well as teammates, they lead out when they need to, they bring their best game to each day, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time. And so to me, that's what loyalty is something that's unseen and not spoken about, but you just feel that's there. You don't have to look behind your back. You don't need to look over your shoulder. You don't need to wonder what people are doing. And to me, maybe you think that's trustworthiness, maybe that's believing in them, but I think that's just loyalty. And they know that I'm loyal to them. We've stated it publicly that we're loyal for 100 years here. We're not selling the company, so that provides some comfort and some assurances for people. But loyalty in a relationship, I think, is delivered day in and day out and shown in our behavior. And it's hard to just say, I'm loyal to you. It's nice, but it's about what we do and how we show up each day to that individual or to the team.
Confidential Tax, the best firm.
231-8600, 231-8601, 231-4000, 231-4001. We are available 24 hours a day, and our base is at 25 Ernica Knott Road. Confidential cabs, 231-4000, 231-8601, 231-4001, 231-8600. There's only one taxi service that you can depend on, and that is only Confidential Cabs. For the best commercial signage and so much more, call Fast Graphics on 225-1099 or 622-7113. If you'd like to change the look of your car, why not wrap it? Call 225-1099 or 622-7113. Why not put your business on a banner stand and showcase all that you can? Call us today on 225-1099 or 622-7113. Fast Graphics, located at 28 Railroad Line, Kitty. Call us today, 225-1099 or 622-7113. Welcome back. That's what we've got to do as people in this day and age. We've got to learn how to act, which is we've got to go and we've got to achieve, and we've got to be able to change, and we've got to teach. So once we can do that, I think we can see the world. I like that. That saying came out of Mahatma Gandhi. You know, be the change you want to see in the world. That's where I got that from. But anyway, let's invite our guests on. Gary, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Thank you, Kirk.
How you doing?
I'm blessed, you know. I think once you have the air, you know, pumping through your nostril, you have
Oh
to sing
boy,
your
you
best.
sound like Eric. Well, y'all almost have the last name, right?
Okay.
He's Thomas, you're Thompson, right?
Okay.
All right. But tell me a little bit about. Well, I know we're gonna talk about some stuff, but I wanna just switch on you a little bit, Gary.
Okay.
Let us motivate some of the youngsters that's coming out. Let's talk a little bit about leadership. How could we gear them? I know I'm putting you on the hot seat. I'm sorry, buddy, but it's like I'm seeing. I'm okay. Where am I stirring this from? I look around and I don't see. You remember when we were young? I'm going to look really old in this, but Gary told me this story.
Okay.
When we were much younger, Gary, the community was responsible in raising a child. Today, you dare not talk to a child. What do you think that leadership lack? Or how could we now, because of course our communities are broken, how could we now venture into exploring finding leaders within that hemorrhage?
I think it's a very interesting question. I think as we look at the individual, as we look at a family, as we look at the community, and as we look at the subject matter, bringing back value and quality and some of the old ways of life back to the family, we have to start talking about what I would call community development centers. I'm saying that I totally agree with the point that communities today are broken. I think that we need to have community centers that has a very clear mandate, and that mandate should be about empowering every single child, every single family members within that community to become the best man of themselves. I think the absence of having that kind of institution, the decay, the decline in family values, the decline in community impact on the child's development and by extension national development will continue to happen. Having said that, you know, as we look at things at the broadest picture, for me it's not just about the family, it's not only about the community. As we look at youth development, as we look at human development, I believe that we have to look at an integrated approach to development. What I'm saying, in other words, if we are looking to foster the development of our youth in a particular way, we must have a clear mental picture in terms of how that development will be utilized to advance the development of the youth, to advance the development of the family, to advance the development of the community, and by extension, advance the development of the country. And I think failing to have that kind of integrated approach to development, we will continue to have some of the challenges that we are facing right now. So I think one of the challenges that we have to throw, and it's good that you raised the point that we should be the change that we want. We have to throw out the challenge to our leaders. We have to inspire our leaders also to want to become change agents. And for me, it's not working for self-interest. It's all about working for collective human development. I think in this modern day, we have to start thinking about how we can foster collective human development. I think in the book I've just written, Self-Application Best Practices, I believe I made some emphasis in reference to the point that we should throw individualism out the door. And what we should do is embrace collectivism, because when you work as a team, when you come together with a strategic vision, you have greater leverage. And we know that it's only through the effective leveraging of human competencies that you're able to tap in to accessing opportunities that the 1% of the people in the world are able to tap into. So we need to start a wider dialogue. You know, we need to get our leaders to seriously commit to moving in a direction that can truly bring out the best in every human being.
I smile at that statement. I smile at that statement because that is so true. That is so true. I just got one more thing to touch just before we go for a break. How do you see, for example, I know you're heavy on the human resource interest, let's put it that way. So how do you see organizations as a whole being able to still nurture their employees, managers, supervisors, even down to the regular employee? But let's talk about from middleman management right up. Because very often we may find that clash in the workforce where a person may be in a management position but not necessarily leader, or that person may be in a leadership position but not necessarily being a leader. My thing is, I know you've written in your book, the manager/leader. How do we as human resource, being in an organization, with a brief overview, tweak our employees more to leadership? What are some of the strategies that we can probably do for that?
To answer the question, I will bias the answer to my independent ideology and philosophy in terms of how we can help the human capital to become a high performer and to help the human capital to become what I call a sustained high performer. I do believe, as we look at some of the world's greatest human resource development specialists, we have the Mark Watt, we have the Elton Mayo, you have the Abraham Maslow. I think these are some of the great authors, some of the world authority in human resource management. They have given the world a number of critical, practical steps and best practices in terms of steps that they can take to truly harness human potential. And I think the one that I like the most is the hierarchy of human needs, which was tabled by Abraham Maslow. For me, in studying that, while I believe it makes some very, very fundamental and strong recommendations, I think it has a missing element to the recommendations. And I say this against the backdrop. It looks at money as a motivator. It looks at creating the right environment for the human capital to perform and help the organization to achieve its bottom line. But the part that you would not see in all of these motivational theory is the issue of what I call alignment, academic alignment. In the book I refer to it as academic alignment. What that means is the individual aligned to the learning concepts that the individual is being introduced to. And I raise the point because of the fact that in my research and in the book I would have emphasized this, people function best in every area of their lives when they're aligned to what they're doing. And to be aligned, it means that as a human resource manager, as a leader, it's important for you not to get the individual necessarily to fit into the box, which is traditional. For me, it's more about me understanding the individual in terms of their, what I call the DSS, the deeper sense of self, And when you understand the individual at that level, the deeper sense of self, you can then understand the individual passion. You can then understand the individual gifts. You can then understand the individual purpose. And based on understanding this of the individual, we then get that individual to align their skill sets, their strengths, to move the organization in a particular direction. As I said again, people function best in every area of their lives when they're aligned to what they are doing, when they feel passion in doing what they are doing, when they can see that they're fulfilling purpose in doing what they're doing. In that case, their gifts just simply shine. And if we look at some of the 1% of the people in the world who are really successful people, all of those people are aligned. The difference with those people and the average person is that the average person is not aligned. They are just simply on the mill. They're simply doing things to achieve something. But the 1% of the people who controls 90% of the world's wealth, they are all aligned.
I want us to talk about being aligned when we come back right after this, because what we need to understand is, what is this alignment Gary's talking about? We'll know right after this word.
For the best commercial signage and so much more, call Fast Graphics on 225-1099 or 622-7113. If you'd like to change the look of your car, why not wrap it? Call 225-1099 or 622-7113. Why not put your business on a banner stand and showcase all that you can? Call us today on 225-1099 or 622-7113. Fast Graphics, located at 28 Railroad Line, Kitty. Call us today, 225-1099 or 622-7113.
Confidential Tax, the best firm.
231-8600, 231-8601, 231-4000, 231-4001. We are available 24 hours a day, and our base is at 25 Ernica Knott Road. Confidential cabs, 231-4000, 231-8601, 231-4001, 231-8600. There's only one taxi service that you can depend on, and that is only Confidential Cabs.
Welcome back. Now, Gary, we were talking about alignment. So let's continue in that phase. Now, let's talk about the regular Joe who's looking at the program and say, what alignment is this guy talking about? How do we define this being in a line?
Okay. If you ask the average person anywhere in the world today, who are you? They will say, my name is Kirk Clarke. But does Kirk Clarke define who you are? Kirk Clarke is simply a name that helps people to identify with you, but it doesn't necessarily represent who you are.
Love that.
You know, at tertiary institution, you're introduced to something that we call the self-image theory. And what the self-image theory speaks about is four self: the ideal self, the looking glass self, the self-image, and last but not least, the real self. The ideal self is the way you would like to be. The looking glass self is the way the public see you. Very often we do things simply because we think the public see us this way, and we want the public to see us this way, so we do things to give that impression. And there's what we call the self-image, and that's how you see yourself. The point that I want to make is all those self doesn't matter. what really matters is the real self. But the self that the real self is the self that most people don't know about, because you are not really taught about the real self throughout your academic studies. And here is where my project comes into play, because I believe that the central reason that you're going to invest hard-earned money to get an education is to, at the end of the day, to develop a true sense of self, is to understand what that real self is. And just let me give you a little glimpse of the real self. The real self is untapped. The real self, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you're at. The real self has untapped potential. The real self is you saying to yourself right here and right now, regardless of where I've been, regardless of where I'm at, I want to open a new chapter in my life for the great things to manifest in my life. And the only thing that's stopping me from making it, the only thing that's stopping me from making that happen is me. No external sources can really prevent you from coming into your victory once you understand the substance of the real self. The reality, we don't talk a lot about the real self. It is introduced at the university level. Once you start to do sociology and communication and some of those fields, it's introduced to you. But we don't talk about it. We just glance through that, and we walk through life without understanding a true sense of self. So when I talk about the alignment of self, is when you as an individual, you understand the substance of self. You understand that the self is not defined by public perception of you. That self is defined by your understanding of your purpose, your passion, and your gift. And it means now that you, based on the fact that you understand those things, you're living in complete alignment with your purpose, your passion, and your gifts. In other words, what I'm saying, your passion should not be to be the greatest basketball the world has ever known, which you know is your passion. And you settle to play ping pong. You want to commit to nurturing your passion, because ping pong is something that you're just doing by the way. And you find that we have over 80% of the global population who work in complete non-alignment with who they are because of circumstances, because it's a means to an end. And then for most people, for most of their lives, it's about working in a field that represents a means to an end, and it's never about connecting with that true sense of self. In that case, most people will never become aligned to who they are. My mission, in terms of fulfilling one of my life's purpose, is to help people to make that connection. And that is one of the reasons why I've written this book, Self-Application Best Practices. It is also one of the reasons why we have also started the Speakers and Leaders Academy. Because the Speakers and Leaders Academy, for us, from the get-go, we want to help people to understand that, listen to me, you're bursting with potential. I don't care where you're being. I don't care where you're at. Because the potential that you have inside of you, all I want to do is to give you a chance to awaken the great giant within you. And what the program will do is to help them to understand both academic principles and life skill principles that will help them to take them to that another level of development in their lives. And I believe today this is what our academic has to look at. Academic alone in my world doesn't cut it. We have inherited an academic system that is more than 103 years, and I say this against the backdrop. Today we are following a model that was introduced by a great mind that we call Frederick J. Kelly. In 1914, Frederick J. Kelly introduced a system which we call the standardization system that we follow today. The standardization system was not designed for a long-term period. And just let me tell you a little bit about that. In 1914, the American educational system, secondary school educational system, was built to provide a testing system for 200 students at that time. integration, they had to now cater for another 1.5 million students. So because of that, they tried to identify a quick method of doing testing. A quick method that they know was not effective, but it provided expediency in terms of doing the testing, getting some results, but it does not allow the individual, you as a tester, to get a true sense of the strength of the individual. Compounded with that, we went into World War I, which contributed to that whole process of shortage of teachers and limited human resources to deal with the school system, so they maintained that system. That system should have been temporary. But 103 years later, it is still a part of our system. And this is why in the book you would hear me reference to the fact that we need to have what we call a parallel educational system. And that parallel education system is all about a program designed to help the individual to connect to self, designed to help the individual to be more proactive in applying themselves, designed to help the individual to be more transformational in terms of how they internalize academic and how they apply themselves to affect change in every setting we can think about, in the home, in the community, the organization, in the country by large. And this is what this book is actually setting out to do. What I must say is that we have achieved some success from the time we would have launched the Speakers Academy to now. We were able to get a college to buy into the program, so it will now, very soon we will announce more about it, probably by the next program. They have bought into the program. The program is now fully accredited for now up to the postgraduate level. And very soon we will go higher than the postgraduate, but we are accredited, fully accredited up to the postgraduate level. So it means that any students who are a part of this program, the Speakers and Leaders Academy program, they will be able to use this qualification to position themselves for success in their lives. But as I said, for us, the key focus here, because the other thing that we are recognizing is that the transfer of information and education tends to be a whole lot of theory. We have about 90% of the theory and probably 10% of the practice. For us, we want to switch that. We want to give you 60% of the practical and probably 40% of the theory. Because, again, you would know that the way we learn is through repetition, is through practice. And my belief that if we create an environment where the student candidate can get enough orientation to practice, at the end of the day, they will be more successful at what they are doing. My ideology is that if we are setting an exam for people to become successful, in my view, it should not be an exam for them to fail. We create enough socialization to the candidate, to the exercise themselves, and once we can do that, we know that they're going to be successful in terms of what they're doing. It's not only the testing issue, but education also has to be aligned. For me, from the get-go of the program, we want to ensure that we can have a mentorship system. And what that system will do is engage a student candidate, because we don't want them to go into a particular stream unless we believe that they are aligned to what they are doing. And once we can help that individual to make that connection, we will then stream them. And we know that once they are doing something that they are passionate about, we don't have to worry about how they're going to grow and develop in that particular field.
Gary, hold that thought for me. Sorry. As time has run out with us, what we're going to do, we're going to go for our last commercial break. When we come back, Gary's going to give you some information on how to get in contact with him, and we'll see when we come back right after these.
confidential cards, the best firm.
231-8600, 231-8601, 231-4000, 231-4001. We are available 24 hours a day, and our base is at 25 Ernica Knott Road. Confidential cabs, 231-4000, 231-8601, 231-4001, 231-8600. There's only one taxi service that you can depend on, and that is only Confidential Cabs.
For the best commercial signage and so much more, call Fast Graphics on 225-1099 or 622-7113. If you'd like to change the look of your car, why not wrap it? Call 225-1099 or 622-7113. Why not put your business on a banner stand and showcase all that you can? Call us today on 225-1099 or 622-7113. Fast Graphics, located at 28 Railroad Line, Kitty. Call us today, 225-1099 or 622-7113. Welcome back. Well, here's where we're going to wrap the show up because of time. So, Gary, in less than about 30 seconds, how could people get in contact with you?
Okay. You can contact me now through the telephone contact, which is 650-6231 or 697-04-880. By the next program, I will introduce them to the website and to additional email addresses that they would be able to make contact with me with.
Good. Let's do the numbers again.
650-6231 and 697-0480.
All right. Thanks much, Gary. This is as much as we have for you tonight on Keys to Success. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. And again, like everything else, if you're going to listen, it doesn't matter where you were, it doesn't matter where you are. Gary said that. It matters where you're going to be. And the only way you're going to do that is if you act. Time to get up and act. What is act? What it means to achieve, it means basically to change, and it means to teach. So what you learn, you must teach. You must pass it on. It's important for you to just pass on that knowledge. This is Kirk, and this is as much as we have for you tonight on Keys to Success. Once again, thanks for joining. See you next week, same place, same time. Bye.